What's happening, fam? L.A.R. movement still moving. The book is entitled Lessons from a Non-Custodial Father at Amazon, Kindle, and Create Space. A link will be in the description box below as usual. This video is entitled Depressed Kids. Had a coworker that put up a post about a kid who jumped in front of a train. So this is where this is coming from. There are kids out here who are depressed for various reasons. One of the reasons, because their parents are depressed. And a lot of people don't want to address this, that, some parents have kids and then they blame not being as successful in life as they feel they should be on the fact that they had kids whenever or whatever age that they had. And now they have to put their dreams on the back burner. And this winds up depressing the kid because now they're a representation of failure. That's a problem. Because now you make the kid depressed because you're depressed and you think depressed is your norm, and you're projecting your depression onto your kid, and there was a time when you weren't depressed, and kind of consciously and subconsciously your kids connected, oh, when I wasn't alive you was happy, but now that I'm here you depressed, so it's me. Problem. Also, kids are depressed because these parents don't want these kids to be great. It didn't work out for you doing something in your life. So if your child does something if your child does the same thing as you, some of you are negative. And you depress your kids because you're not trying to protect them. You're trying to protect you from being a hater and jealous of your child if they're successful at the very thing that you aren't successful at, because they got it from you. So you making sure they're stagnant is depressing them. Problem. That's a problem. So you're depressing your kids. Some of your kids are depressed because they're bombarded with negativity. You're not helping them with their homework, but you're calling them stupid. You're not helping them think logically, but you're disrespecting them. Problem. You're depressing your kids like that. They're not stupid, they're smarter than you. And you calling them stupid to mentally break them because you don't want them to be smarter than you as an adult. You're depressing your kids like that. Another reason, financially. No, before I get into that financially, you're parenting your kid out of trauma. See, you were teased about something as a kid, or your childhood had these issues in it, and now you're not parenting your child. You're giving your child the childhood you wish you had. So you're depressing your kid because you're robbing them of their childhood because you're using them as a pawn to get your childhood that you wanted back. So they're irrelevant, and they figure that out, and that makes them sad. This is why kids are depressed. Financially, depressing kids. There are people out here who are just selfish. They don't want to spend on their children. They don't want to make sacrifices on their children. So they give them an old speech, I'm struggling, I'm out here trying as hard as I can. No, you're not. You're not making any sacrifices for your child. As a matter of fact, you're doing just fine and your child's suffering. And you got your child believing that, the reason that y'all broke is because they're an extra mouth to feed, when the reality is you've been living beyond your means even before that child was born, and now that you got to take care of a child, it bothers you. So instead of actually being an adult and being a parent and sacrificing from your lifestyle, you sacrifice from theirs and blame it on them financially. So now they can't do anything because you want shit done for yourself. I didn't want to cuss, but I just did. Sorry. So now your kid's depressed. You know, I can't do this because we poor. I can't do this because we poor. I can't do this because we ain't got no money. I can't do this because we struggling. I can't get no. I can't get a Christmas gift because we bad. Y'all ain't that bad off. A lot of y'all ain't that bad off. A lot of y'all spent that money on nonsense. Hair, clothes, going out to eat, trips, nails. That was your kids' money. You know, cars that you don't necessarily need, so you made a higher payment, higher insurance, that type of stuff. Apartments and townhomes and homes that you didn't that are just too much for you to afford, but you didn't care. So they suffer for it. Old school thing. Some of these kids are depressed because they realize this, and this is where you get these kids who are in the streets committing crime, because now they got to bring in money to a household because you're selfish. So now they're out here taking chances with their life, and they're depressed because their children who weren't made for, they're not supposed to be made for a criminal lifestyle. So the lifestyle corrupts them and depresses them, and all of the stress that goes along with it. All because, you know, you a lazy, good for nothing parent. So now your kid's depressed. We don't want to talk about stuff like that. Some of these kids depressed from lies and secrets. You got children lying for adults, keeping secrets for adults. And now you got them looking at their family dead in the eye, tell them a lie to cover your behind, and they're depressed because it ain't right. They got the weight of the world on their shoulders because you as an adult are a horrible individual, and you don't want to suffer the consequences and repercussions of your actions. So now you need an accessory, and you made your child an accomplice to your nonsense. And the child's psyche is cracking because of that. This is why you got depressed kids. You know, you got depressed kids for family. You know, family issues, molestation, alcoholism, all of that crap. You know, drug use. Because all of you grown adults are still, who haven't got therapy or dealt with your own issues, you're practicing escapism in front of your kids. However that may be. Hypersexuality, however that may be. You know, a lot of kids out here are depressed because, you know, their parents are embarrassments to them in public. They're ashamed of you because they know as a child you out of pocket and acting a fool, and you're not gonna check yourself. So they're depressed because that's their mama, that's their daddy, out there looking like they got no sense, like they just got it together. Not they're being teased and made fun of and used and manipulated because you got issues. You got kids out here depressed because of parental alienation. You know, you're not gonna let the kids see their daddy. They love their daddy, you don't. So now your kid's depressed because now your kid is stuck in a war and they got to pick a side. You got to pick mama's side. I'm using mama because mamas 90% of the time mothers get custody. This is why I'm saying it this way. But you want to keep the kid away from daddy. It's always a beef with dad. Not just dad. Now they can't go over granddad's house. Now they can't go over grandma's house. Now they can't go over their auntie's house, their uncle's house. Now they can't play with their other cousin that's their favorite cousin. You know, now they can't talk to people on the phone. They can't FaceTime nobody. And if they try to, now you betrayed me as your, you know, custodial parent. So now these kids depressed. They don't want to. They didn't sign up for this. You know, so these kids are depressed. And another reason is these kids are depressed because they find out they're pawns and they're being used. You know, and they come to a realization at a certain age that you don't love me. I'm just something here under your household to use, manipulate, and screw over for your benefit. When you find out your parent is an opportunist or is a capitalist with you, it sends you into a state of depression. So we don't put a lot of this stuff on the table, but that's what's going on with these kids. They depressed because of this, you know. And then, oh, what's going on in these kids' lives? You don't really, you know. We know what's going on in these kids' lives. There's a lot of other things that could have added, but we done right now. Peace.